standardize as humans. We've tried to standardize the units that we use. We know that it's quite confusing, like people from the States and so forth use this idea of feet and inches, pounds, where we generally use what we call the metric system, meters and kilograms and so forth. So it's quite confusing because we get used to a certain length. Now, the international system, as far as a scientific system, is that we use these units. And the units for length is the meter. We give it the symbol M. The unit for mass, now you will often find that they will also use the word weight in your mathematics, the unit for weight, although weight, if you look at it from a scientific point of view, is not mass. But anyway, they use it interchangeably, as you're going to see an example. Anyway, the unit for mass is the kilogram, and that's your kg. And the unit for time is your second, which is pretty international, whether you're in the States and so forth, anywhere, they use seconds. But kilogram and meters, depending where you are. But in the Czech Republic and or most of Europe, except for the UK, will use that. South Africa, we turned over to metric system, I think, in about 40 years ago. So most countries have changed over. Now, the thing is that you need to be able to work from one unit to another. So if I want to go, let's just take our length. Now, we know that we use the meter, but then we also have the kilometer, which we use quite a lot. Now, when you're going from meter to kilometer, what do? By how much? It's 1,000, isn't it? Because this K, this kilo, this K, this means it's another way of writing 1,000. All right? It's another way of writing 1,000. So a kilometer is 1,000 meters. Now, we also go in the other way. Now, I'm going to just skip out a few, but let's go to the deci. I'm going to do 3 here. We got what we call the decimeter. Now, we don't use that so much, but a deci means divided by 10. So this is, when we go this way, it means you divide by 10. Then we go to what we call the centimeter. Now, we know the centimeter is how many centimeters in a meter? There's 100. So actually, you go from decimeter to centimeter, you actually divide again by 10. All right, so a centimeter actually means 1/100th. Well, a centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. So if you go from a meter there, a centimeter is 100th of a meter. So there's 100 centimeters per meter. Okay, so you've got to follow that conversion. A millimeter is a further 10 down. It's divided by 1,000. This milli over here, milli means 1,000th of a meter. So there's 1,000 millimeters in a meter. So if I am converting from meters to millimeters, I obviously have to multiply it by 1,000. There's 1,000 millimeters in a meter. We can actually go further. There's also what we call the micro. There's 1,000 millimeters in a meter, yeah. All right, a millimeter is 1,000th of a meter. All right, so it's and a micrometer is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. And then you get a nanometer. You've heard of nanotechnology? That is looking at a billionth of a meter. All right, or a millionth of a millimeter. That's the sort of sizes that you're actually dealing with. All right. Yep.
Will we actually be able to?
Sorry?
Like, will we need to memorize?
Yeah, you need to know these. You need to know these that
So, I mean, like, it's obvious, like, kilometer, meter, centimeter, millimeter,
micro,
nanometer.
nano, 10 to the minus 9 of billions. Yeah, I think you should know that. Just as
Like, would be like,
it's unlikely that they use nanometers in a test, but you should be able to convert. Like for instance, over here they said if you're looking at 5 kilometers, you should know how to convert going from kilometers to millimeters.
yeah,
You'd be able to work out those. It's just yeah, that's it's a bit further. Yeah, probably unlikely. Okay, so that's your whole idea with length, being able to convert from one to the other. Now, what gets a little bit more complicated is when that you work from not just length, but say from area. So let's say I have this situation over here. I've got a square of 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, like that. 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. What is the area of this? It's 100 centimeters squared. All right, so remember always to put this squared value in over here. You're going to need to put that in. All right? So, if I wanted to write this, if I wanted to convert centimeters squared into millimeters squared, what would be the area here in millimeters squared?
10,000.
All right. Now, need to think about what do you. Okay, you're saying 10,000. How many do you think it's going to be? 1,000. Okay. Now let's just think of it. 10 centimeters is how many millimeters? So it's 100 millimeters, and this over here would be 100 millimeters. So the area is actually going to be 100 times 100. It's going to be 10,000. You were right. Yeah. So it's 10,000 millimeters squared. So when I convert centimeters squared to millimeters squared, like that, I didn't multiply it by 10. I actually multiplied by 100, or 10 squared. All right, so you've got to be a little bit careful when you go with area to convert from your unit to another unit. Now, let's make it a little bit more complicated. Let's just say, for instance, let's just say we've got this over here. We've got a 10 centimeter, but not now we've got a cube of 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters, like that. All right? So we've got a cube. What would be the volume of this? It would be 1,000 centimeters cubed. It would be your length times your height times your width. All right? Would give it. So it would be 10 centimeters times 10 centimeters times 10 centimeters. Each 1 centimeters. So you get a 1,000 centimeters cubed. All right. Now, just by way of interest, 1 centimeter cubed is the same as 1 milliliter. All right. So when you say a milliliter, you are saying 1 centimeter cubed. All right. 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter is a milliliter. It's the same as a milliliter. But let's say I wanted to write this. I wanted to convert this into millimeters cubed. How much would that be? What would that be?
100,000.
Nope.
No?
All right. Well, let's have a look. How many? There's 100 millimeters there, 100 millimeters there, and millimeters.
1 million.
It's going to be 1 million because each one of these 100. So your volume is going to be 100 times 100 times 100. So it's actually going to be 1 million. What would that be in scientific notation?
Well, we could write it as 1 times 10 to the power of 6.
1 times 10 to the power of 6 millimeters cubed. So if I go from centimeters cubed to millimeters cubed, What do I multiply by? What did I do? This is 1,000 centimeters cubed, and now we've got 1,000,000 millimeters cubed. What did I multiply by here? I multiplied by 1,000. So their conversion rate, which makes sense because your conversion from centimeters to millimeters is got to times by 10. So it's times by 10, times by 10, times by 10, times by 1,000. But you just got to be careful with this when you're doing these conversions. Just watch out for that.